Most nursing students make these mistakes, avoid them, and you will be far ahead. I'm a fourth year nursing student and I'm a final year nursing student as well in Nursing University in East Morocco. Now, let's get started. The first one is memorizing without understanding the lessons. This is one of the biggest problems that I have seen myself. A lot of students actually do it. Now, it's due to the hardship of the internship, the hardship of the subjects, the hardship of the formation overall. It has a lot of stress when it comes to theoretical side as well as internship as well. It's very known all over the world. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's actually the same thing. Nursing universities are genuinely hard. So a lot of students actually tend to fall for the mistake that they actually memorize it by heart instead of actually learning. And this might actually give you a couple good grades. Sometimes it works in the exams, but it's never good as a long-term plan. Even as an exam, I would say it's not the best. So now let me give you the appropriate way to do it is to understand as much as possible. Now, a lot of internship topics are very repeated. So let's say the basics in the first few years, we're talking about anatomy and pharmacology, we're talking about microbiology, etc., which really will come in clutch in the next few years when you study more in depth when it comes to the details and specialties. Now, if you haven't understood those basics, especially when it comes to anatomy, pharmacology, microbiology, etc., those are the fundamentals of whatever you're gonna learn after. So you have only two ways, whether to memorize or to understand. Memorizing, as I said, might give you one or a couple good grades in one or a couple of two exams, right? But actually, you will have to do it again next year. But on the other hand, if you only understood, even you haven't memorized anything, you just understood the topics, what will happen is the next year you'll find yourself very happily can go through the exams and can go through whatever topics and subjects you have simply because you understand the fundamentals and the basics of whatever you studied first. Nursing college, it's all chained. It's all chained, so you have to understand one thing, then another thing, then another thing. Point number two that I'll be talking about is studying before the night exam or the night before the exam. So I'm all in against it. It has a lot of bad problems in it. So I've seen a lot of people do this, especially first year nursing students. What happens is that because of the stress, because of the feeling and the imposter syndrome and the feeling of inadequacy, what they do is they wait until the final exam or the day before the exam and they do a night over, they don't sleep and they just study, cram up. It's not very good. Although there's a lot of memes about it, it's kind of funny sometimes, it's really not a good thing. And I'm not telling you to study your entire life. Here's how to do it. Here's how I actually done it. As an example, last day I got almost a full grade, and this actually works even outside of nursing university. As an example, with driver's license test, it's also the same. The secret is consistency. And I'm not one of those guys that will tell you have to go back every day and study bullshit. No. What you gotta do actually is when you go to the lecture, which is mandatory in most countries in the world, you wanna sit in the front row and literally just do nothing. Literally. If you just go sit in the front row, just literally exist there, maybe have a paper and pen, right? It will really be insanely, amazingly effective when it comes to the exam. You will actually be way better than everyone else in the class, including the people who will study the night shift the night before the exam, including the people that are nerds, etc. You'll find yourself getting a full grade without even trying. As an example, this exam that I told you about, that I just got the grades yesterday, I studied for half an hour before the exam, or an hour max. So half an hour will not get you almost a full grade, one grade off. But what will give you is actually staying in the front row, sitting in the front row, talking with the teacher, and literally just doing nothing. That really helps. Now, this is extremely important I literally can't stress this enough. Point number 3 is staying silent during internship. You want to ask questions, you want to do stuff, you want to talk with the staff, you want to talk with the people that are with you in the team. So this will not only help you understand your topics, understand your fields, but a lot of the times it really does help with one having the experience of experienced nurses. Nurses are not only willing to teach you the exact topic that you're studying, but actually will teach you more, will teach you about their personal experiences, maybe mistakes they have done. What I'd like to do is actually ask them about advices. So I'm gonna say, what's your advice that I do in this exact situation, Or maybe I see something, I see an act that I haven't studied about. I said, hey, we actually haven't studied this yet. Tell me more about it. Or maybe you have studied it, but I want to revise it. Hey, tell me how to do this, how to do that. And nurses are actually way more than happy to help you in literally 100% of the time. In fact, a lot of nurses will tell you without even asking. But I would say always, the students that are willing to ask questions are usually way better and have more advantages when it comes to understanding, when it comes to having better experience, as well as just having a career after the internship obviously ends. So I really can't stress this enough. Point number 4 that I'll be talking about is ignoring self-care. So ignoring self-care, including sleep, food, water, etc., is absolutely horrible. And you can find a lot of people that endorse it in social media. I don't do that. And I have made this mistake myself. In first year university student nursing, I'm here and I'm really motivated, etc. But one thing I did, I wasn't sleeping enough. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was always dehydrated. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating good, etc. And this actually has some sort of momentum that goes with it. So today you don't eat, tomorrow you don't eat. Before you know it, you have a health problem, and you're a nurse. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? But it's actually very common. Actually, I would say nursing students are usually suffer from anemia, they're not really, like, you don't see a lot of strong men in nursing, obviously because it's hard, it's stressful, but more than that, because actually they just ignore themselves. You don't care about yourself and how you look, how you present yourself, how many hours you're putting in of sleep every day. And sure, if you have a couple internships in the final years, maybe night shifts, etc., that's totally fine and understandable. But when we're talking about long-term, every day, that's really not healthy. Now, the 5th point and the final point that I really want to add here is being afraid to admit when you don't know something. This very big thing in nursing students, in nursing university, is that they tend to somewhat be afraid to admit that they don't know a couple things. Maybe it comes to the same thing with the nurses as well. You don't know something and you just stay silent, or even in the lectures as well. You don't know a couple things, and what you do, you just stay silent, you don't talk about it. You don't even talk about it to your friends. So this is one of the biggest mistakes that you can do as a nursing student. Because if you want to be honest, this is a vast, big domain. The medical field is a big field. So really, it is hard to understand everything. It is hard to understand every little intricacy that someone can do. And the staff is also diverse, especially in internship. In the operation room, you have about 4 specialties. You have different specialties of doctors, and obviously doctors and nurses, you have a lot of specialties that are different and do different jobs as well. So really, it's really hard to understand everything. In these specific situations, the best thing you can do is to literally just ask about it. I'm gonna ask about this, I'm gonna ask about that. I don't understand this, I don't understand that. All right. I don't understand this, I don't understand that, which will not only give me the advantage amongst my friend, but will also make sure that I really understand whatever topic that I have in my hand. Now, talking about this, I really just want to add one very quick bonus point as well. when it comes to the mistakes that most students do in university students in general, or nursing university in general. One big mistake, is they don't have a strategy for whether passing the exams or preparing for the exams, and that really messed them up. Because if you don't really have a strategy, it's not only that you will find it hard, but you find it very difficult to keep up with the lessons, and you will feel stressed. You have no clue what you should do, and it just overall a mess in your brain. My personal strategy is I be consistent, so every lecture I sit in the front row. Obviously if it's full then I have nothing to do, but I'll make sure that every day I go to the lecture, I sit in the front row, and I literally just do nothing. And then at the end of the exam, I make sure that I study in the last 24 hours, but without compromising sleep, without compromising food. So make sure that I eat good and I sleep good. And I also revise a little bit for at least like 1 hour or so in the last 24 hours. And sometimes even I wake up the same day, I wake up a little bit early, and then I revise whatever it is that I want to revise. So let's do a quick little recap here. One, what you want to do is you want to reduce your stress. How you can reduce your stress? Obviously you have to I'm tired, man. Alright, you have to reduce stress by one, having a strategy, good strategy for the exam. Two, for you not to get overwhelmed, you have to make sure that you study smart, not only hard. Three, you want to also use the people that, whatever it is, whether your teammates, you choose good teammates that are with you, whether your colleagues, your professors, etc. Four, you want to ask the nurses about the right questions all the time. Five, be humble enough to just ask for things and change your plans along the way. So, comment down below about the biggest problem that you have in nursing university, and I'll make sure that I'm gonna make a video about how to fix it. Thank you.